What's going on, everyone, guys? It's Creator here, back for a new episode of This Week in Wrestling. I know we're like 2 minutes late, but I had to set up, make sure I have all my links and stuff together, and my notes. So just make sure to get ready. It's a special episode today. This is the one to give our predictions for Payback. Even though it's probably only going to be me today, but who cares? I'm still gonna go with it. So if you like today's stream, make sure to comment down below, subscribe, like today's stream. And again, if you want to comment stream in the stream chat, you want to comment and just talk about the stream, you're free to welcome. Just comment in the stream chat, tell me your thoughts to what I say, or just say anyone in general. It doesn't really matter to me. And also, like I said, this is a special one because and somebody just messaged me. This is a special stream because Payback is the Sunday, so predictions. I'll be at the end of the when I get my full analysis on Raw, Smackdown, the 205 Live NXT. I can't even think straight. We're giving our predictions for Payback. So if you want to be a part of this, you can either comment in the stream chat on the side and just tell your predictions who you think is going to win while I go over each match. Or hell, if you want to call in. I mean, if you want to be a part, just tell me, hey, I would be a part of it. I'll send you the link, and you can be a part of it. You can give me your predictions out here. Just give your analysis, so I think who's going to win or whatnot. So with that being said, before we start, as always, this is This Week in Wrestling. We cover everything that happened in the wacky world of professional wrestling, which is also mainly WWE. If there's some major stuff happening with TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan for Wrestling, I would cover it. But mainly this is for WWE centric show. Before we get in my reviews for Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, just do some breaking, some interesting news I thought was interesting. This happened this week. Happened actually yesterday. A bunch of stuff. Well, first off, to Jerry. As you know, to Jerry, he's been with WWE for a while. He left WWE. He's part of the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era. To Jerry, he recently came out with the Cruiserweight Classic. And he did good for Mark. Then he made his 205 Live debut, like I said, a couple months ago. Sadly, he's no longer with the company. That is because he had an injury to his knees, I believe. I think it was his knees, and they felt like because of age, he's 46 years old. There's no point in let him continue. He might be injured again. There's no reason. Which it's a fair play. 46-year-olds, you kind of up there in age. So Jerry's officially finished. He's headed back to Japan, and I'll say thank you to Jerry for all your work and all your time here in WWE. Even I loved your performance in Cruiserweight Classic. Show that even though you're old, you can still go and just kick the head off of somebody. So I am sad about that. It's sad because now we never have a really concrete conclusion to the Brian Kendrick story with him and to Jerry, which will explain why it was so weird how they transitioned to Kira instead, because now we officially know why it was to Jerry. So there's that. So Jerry, thank you for your time at WWE. Hopefully you do well in anything else you do. Hopefully you just have fun with the rest of your life, man. Just consider yourself retired and just have fun with the rest of your life. And the other main thing, yesterday, WWE announced this new pay-per-view that's coming out in July. Now, for those who don't know, in July, SmackDown will be hosting Battleground, which will be in my home state and city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sadly, I won't be going, but I'm just happy that a WWE pay-per-view is actually – last WWE pay-per-view, I'm trying to remember. When was the last WWE pay-per-view? The last WWE pay-per-view from what I can remember was the Royal Rumble 2015. So it's like, yeah, this is actually cool that another pay-per-view is coming to Philadelphia. So, yeah, it's going to be Battleground, which is SmackDown exclusive. So Raw's exclusive pay-per-view was originally supposed to be Bad Blood, which was the rumored name. I guess it was the confirmed name at one point. I guess they showed it. It was never really concrete proof because nobody didn't have a picture of them showing that was going to be pay-per-view. But now we know the actual real name of the pay-per-view. It's called WWE Great Balls of Fire. I'm not making that up. It's actually called WWE Great Balls of Fire. I don't understand. This is one of those situations where it's like, I wish I was in the conference room that day because that is just freaking hilarious. Great Balls of Fire. What the hell? I really don't get it, but hey, it's whatever. Great Balls of Fire. Just imagine. Just imagine somebody cutting a promo saying, at WWE Great, or not even saying, at Great Balls of Fire, I will finish you. It doesn't even sound threatening. Like any other pay-per-view, you could cut a line with the pay-per-view name. If you try to say great, like you could say at Payback, I will get like Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank, at Battleground, Backlash, No Mercy, Hell in a Cell, Clash of Champions. It's like, but now when you try to say with Great Balls of Fire, I don't know. But the noteworthy thing about this event is that for the first time since winning the Universal title at WrestleMania 33, Brock Lesnar will defend his Universal title at Great Balls of Fire. So we already know the main event for Great Balls of Fire. Brock Lesnar will be defending his Universal title at Great Balls of Fire. I'm going to keep saying that name, and I know how ridiculous it sounds. I'm going to keep saying it. But just, the Universal title, the title that is a world title, which is the only reason why they made the world title in the first place, because SmackDown took the WWE title, but now they gave it to a part-time like Brock Lesnar, who they know for a fact never shows up when he wants them to show up. Only shows up in certain dates, Big 4 pay-per-view. So I'm actually shocked that he's on a B-rank pay-per-view, like Great Balls of Fire. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, does that mean the Universal title has been? I mean, it also confirms that Extreme Rules, which is the next Raw pay-per-view, there will be no Universal title match either, because Brock Lesnar is also gone. He won't be there. He's only confirmed, they said, for the first time. So I guess that would officially mean he won't defend his title until Great Balls of Fire. The question is who? Well, we will see. Obviously, there's rumor names that's going around, either Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman. We will have a clearer picture probably near when we're going to build to Extreme Rules. I wouldn't be surprised in the one contenders match. The main event will probably be the one contenders match between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. And the winner will face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. So there's that. But yeah, those are really the main noteworthy news. So there's that. Just making sure anything else. Nothing really. Okay, so I can actually get started on my reviews for Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, and then at the end we'll be giving my or our thoughts on the Payback, give full analysis, predictions, all the 9 yards. So let's just get into Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw, it was a very interesting show to say the least. It was the last Raw before Payback, which is the Raw exclusive pay-per-view. So everything they had to wrap up. All the feuds. That mean they had to pretty much put the feuds at their peak before they go to Payback. So we start off the show. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho comes out and basically says, "Sally, this will be the last." Hold on, let me just. Chris Jericho basically said this will be the last Raw he'll be on, because that Payback he will beat Kevin Owens, and per the stipulation, since the United States title. Like I said, Ron, I don't know if I didn't mention this earlier. My co-host Ron, he sadly was not able to be here today, so he will be sending me his predictions. So when it's time, when I go to Payback prediction part of the show, I'll be giving his predictions as well. He won't be here. So Chris Jericho came out. As I said before, he said this will be the last time being Raw, he will beat Kevin Owens. And per the stipulation, United States title is the one that got drafted, pretty much got traded to the SmackDown due to superstar shit, not actually a superstar. So Chris Jericho wins, he'll be part of the SmackDown roster. Now there's conflicting report, because now it's based on what it seems like. They said Kevin Owens will still be on SmackDown regardless if he wins or either if he retains or loses the title. So it doesn't even matter. So Kevin Owens is still going to be on SmackDown regardless. So even if Chris Jericho SmackDown anyway, it's not like it was. To me, that doesn't make any sense, but I'll give my thoughts after this segment. After Chris Jericho said, yeah, I'm going to miss you guys. You guys were the friends of Jericho. Then The Miz came out. This is very interesting. I'm trying to remember the last time Miz and Chris Jericho actually had an interaction with each other. I can't recall. So that I think this is maybe, to my knowledge, rewatch wrestling forever. Even if they did meet, it must have been like a one-off event. I'm trying to remember the last time Miz and Chris Jericho actually before I quote myself, Chris Jericho, Miz. I want to see if they met any other time because I'm really trying to remember. Oh, yeah, they did. Never mind. It was when the Miz. Okay, but this was, you see the issue with that. It was in June 30th, 2014. The only reason why I did not remember that is because that's when I went to basic training. So they actually did meet each other. My bad, guys. My bad. That still doesn't change anything. Anyway, Chris Miz came out and he basically told him that the highlight reel was nothing anyway. So Miz T, so high reel is pretty much canceled since he said he's leaving, and Miz TV will be replacing it. Then cue Dean Ambrose, and just like how Miz said, the highlight reel was canceled, so is Miz TV. So he decided to bring out the Ambrose Asylum. And then Ambrose, thank you for continuity, Ambrose. He acknowledged the fact that last year he owed Chris Jericho Jack since he tore it up, and so he made him a peace offering, which he had this crazy little jacket right here, which pretty much, it was just a jacket which has Christmas lights on it. It was funny. Everybody had a good laugh out of it. And yeah, as pretty much a peace offering, with all the stuff that had between Ambrose and Jericho during last year. Remember, he destroyed Mitch, and yeah. So and Mitch, it's funny because Ambrose actually did like the rest in peace sign for Mitch because yeah, he died sadly. So yeah, Mitch was a good plan. Miz said, "You know what? Screw it. Dean Ambrose, what you're talking about? You're just lazy, and you're just annoying. It's just why are you have the title?" And Dean Ambrose just drops him, and then yeah, he just pretty much just drops him. And then was Jericho was talking smack to Miz, and then later on we found out that it'll be a tag team match between the Miz and whoever partner he wants against Jericho and Dean Ambrose, and the main event of Raw, which I was not expecting the main event of Raw. So overall, the segment was fine. Again, this won't be Jericho's. I'll just say my prediction is going to win pretty much. Yeah, Jericho. The stipulation. See, the issue is the stipulation doesn't make any sense to me. If Jericho wins, he goes to SmackDown. Then that's all fine and dandy, y'all. But see, it makes the whole match like feel. It's not that it's pointless, but to me, I would personally feel like it would have been much more better if the stipulation was if Chris Jericho wins, he brings his title back to Raw. And if Kevin wins, he takes the title to SmackDown. That's what it will feel much more. For me, it will feel much more intense because either way, this is a win-win situation for SmackDown. At the end of the day, either SmackDown's getting United States title or United States title and Chris Jericho. So they're either getting the title or the title and the superstar. So either way, they have the title. So it's like it's a win-win situation. They're either just keeping. I mean, the title is going to stay there regardless. They're just going to add an extra superstar to their roster. So to me, I don't know why Raw would even agree to that deal. You know, I don't know if they had a choice. This again is storyline wise. The real reason why obviously is because they, since the Intercontinental title went to Raw, United States title has to go to SmackDown. I'm saying, but in storyline perspective, that just doesn't make any sense to me. At least make it much more intriguing, saying, "Hey, Jericho wins, he's taking the title back to Raw, and if Kevin Owens wins, he's keeping the title on SmackDown." But it's whatever. In this situation, SmackDown wins either way. But regardless, I did like the whole communication between Miz and Dean Ambrose. Obviously, there's a feud going on. It's strange because there is Dean Ambrose is not involved at Payback whatsoever. Miz is, which I'll go over in Payback, but Miz is involved at Payback, so that's kind of weird. And yeah, this is pretty much a good opener. Glad that Chris Jericho opened the show. So yeah, again, I like what WWE does is that they open the show with the most important segment that they feel like it will lead off to the rest of the show. So I'm glad. So this actually showed that Chris Jericho will be main eventing probably perhaps his final Raw if he wins the United States title. So at least that's giving him a good send off. He'll be main eventing Raw. So otherwise, this was a good segment. Anyway, we move on to the Raw Tag Team Champion Matt Hardy versus Sheamus in a one-on-one match. So the reason why this match came out because last week Jeff Hardy defeated Cesaro, and obviously when it comes to a tag team feud, what they usually do is have both teams have singles matches, one person, one team versus the other person, and then the same exact thing for the other two people. In this case, Matt Hardy versus Sheamus. Very hard-hitting match. Matt Hardy seemed like he hasn't missed, even though obviously he's up there in age, you see like he really hasn't missed a beat. That side effect, if you guys notice that side effect on the freaking, what the hell is it called? The ring apron, yes. The edge, the side of the ring, the hardest part of the ring, as they like to call it. It was effective. I'm surprised Sheamus even got up after that. But at the end of near the end of the match, what I'm trying to remember the sequence of what happened here. Somebody ran into Jeff Hardy got into something happened. Jeff Hardy got into Cesaro, and then Sheamus was distracted. That's what happened. Okay. Jeff Hardy and Cesaro had a heated conversation outside, and Sheamus got distracted by that. And then Matt Hardy was able to hit the twist of fate on Sheamus, and he got the cover 1, 2, 3. So the Hardys for 2 weeks in a row had to win over Cesaro and Sheamus. Considering Cesaro, he was about to just fight both Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus says, "You know what? It's cool. Nope, it's fine. The better man won, so let's just shake hands." And surprisingly, they shook hands. It's not like they attacked him after; they literally just shook hands, and that was it. And this is all just leading up to their Raw tag team title match at Payback, where the Hardys will defend their Raw tag title against Cesaro and Sheamus. Overall, that was fine. Everything was cool. I liked the match. Like I said, Matt Hardy, he hasn't missed a beat. I just find it hilarious for almost third week in a row. He doesn't know whether he wants to be the broken character or his V1 character. It's just, I don't know. And his Twitter is proof of that. He's just going back and forth with either the broken character or the V1 character. I don't know. But in terms of their match at Payback, it's going to be very interesting to see what happened. Like I said, later in the show, I'll give my analysis of what I think is going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a very interesting match for Raw tag team time. Might be match of the night. Might be, but next segment will tell you why it might be match of the night instead. Actually, there's a bunch of match of the night contenders I think about on the card. There's 3 of them that I feel like will be match of the night. But moving on to cruiserweights, Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher versus Neville and TJ Perkins. Basically, the reason why this match happened is because with the whole situation between TJ Perkins, also pretty much all 4 of them actually, if you think about it. Jack Gallagher doesn't like how TJ Perkins become Austin Aries and Neville's in a feud, so it makes sense. Tag team makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Because TJ Perkins did beat Jack Gallagher on 205 Live last week, and on Raw, I believe. No. TJ Perkins beat. Damn, how long ago was that though? That was 2 weeks ago. He beat him on 205 Live last week. Austin Aries beat TJ Perkins on 205 Live, and then they got he attacked him basically afterwards with Neville, so they ambushed him after the match, so we might not have a tag team match. I liked how it started too, because what happened was Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher was talking outside the ring. It was like, should we go ahead and Jack Gallagher just said, screw it, I'm a gentleman, just screw it. And they just rushed in, just attacked him. They both did like a double drop kick, and they did a suicide dive from the outside, where I would like to call it the tope suicida. But yeah. Pretty much it was a very back and forth match. At the end, Aries hit the what the hell is it called? The running, I don't know. What the hell is Austin Aries' move? Oh, the discus 5 forearm. The discus 5 arm. Or is it the discus forearm or 5? I'm trying to think it back. It doesn't matter. Pretty much he hits the discus 5 arm, called the 5 arm. I guess that makes a little bit more sense than a forearm, because a forearm would have. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he hit it on Perkins and he ate the pin. 1, 2, 3. This more of the stuff leading to a 5 Live, and pretty much that just gives Austin Aries momentum, because we know at Payback it will be for Cruiserweight Championship. Neville will defend his Cruiserweight title against Austin Aries in a WrestleMania rematch. Going to be very interesting, but overall this was a good segment. The issue I have is just for the past weeks, it seemed like the Cruiserweights have only been getting 1 segment instead of 2. Usually they get at least 2 segments, or hell, sometimes even 3. So it's very interesting. And I do want to point out, this is a little, just as a little thing I noticed, but it's weird. The Raw opening that they had. Usually in the Raw, when they showed a bunch of cruiserweights, like the previous Raw opening, they had Austin Aries, T.J. Perkins, Akira Tozawa, Rich Swann, Neville, and Brian King. They had 6 cruiserweights. Now the new Raw opening, they all got replaced except for Neville. So Neville's the only person that they're not replacing your opening, which leads me to believe there's a lot of speculation that the cruiserweights are going to eventually just be on their own show, just be on 205 Live exclusively, which would not make any sense because then what pay-per-view would they be defending the cruiserweight title on if they're not technically on either brand? It's just weird. I don't know. Hopefully they don't replace the cruiserweights because the cruiserweights are cool. They're awesome. They bring Raw something different for Raw. But despite the flack the cruiserweights gets, I feel like cruiserweights has gotten better ever since Neville showed up in December, especially got even more better when Austin Aries finally returned to action. So it's like cruiserweight's been doing good. So hopefully they don't actually transition fully off of Raw because that wouldn't make any sense. But hey, that's just me. Next, we have probably the most interesting match of the freaking show. Oh God, I was hoping because earlier in the week, for those so basically it was Braun Strowman versus Kalisto in a dumpster match. For those who are confused, last week, Braun Strowman threw Kalisto inside of a dumpster. Near the end of the week, Kalisto tweeted out saying, "I want to face Braun Strowman in a dumpster match." And Kurt Angle, being the GM that he is, he accepted it. And I thought this could not be real. And we broke the news and said, this is actually happening. And this was probably the most funny thing I saw all week. I'm trying to fathom why the hell Kalisto would want to face Braun Strowman in a dumpster match. And the match pretty much, for the most part, went exactly as you thought it would. Kalisto pretty much got almost killed by Braun Strowman. However, this match was more entertaining than what people would have thought it would have been. That's all I can say. The match was good. The match was fine. Most shocking win, even though the way he booked it was perfect because they wanted Kalisto to win. This was the only way possible. Basically, what happened was Braun Strowman was on the outside of the ropes, right? Kalisto kicked his feet off, and because the issue was right behind him was the dumpster, and the rules off. I thought the rules were you have to close the dumpster. Apparently, that wasn't the case. Braun Strowman's feet touched the inside of the dumpster, therefore Kalisto won the match. Surprisingly, it was very clever how they did that because obviously there's no way in the chance in hell Kalisto was able to incapacitate Braun Strowman or beat him so much to the point that he could actually put him down. So that was realistically no way that was happening unless he was gonna do Selena Del Sol or some shit inside the dumpster. Otherwise, there was no way in hell he was going to actually do that. The way they booked him, Kalisto winning, is clever. By the way, Kalisto has new theme music. Just putting that out there. But yeah, so that was very clever for them to do that. And after the match was something I was expecting to happen during the match. Braun Strowman killed Kalisto. He literally killed him. He picked him up with one arm from the ground and did a one-arm choke slam when he picked him up. It was an incredible sight to see, and it was just like, by God, Braun Strowman keeps showing week after week why he truly is the monster among men. I mean, he just picked him up with one arm, just like one arm. The second time he had to do a second arm, but that first one was just, by God, with just one arm strength alone, he was able to pick him up with one hand and just slam him back down. And so Braun Strowman was pissed, obviously, and he taped up the dumpster, he pushed the dumpster, and he was debating whether or not he'd throw him off, and then he looked like he was about to leave, but then now he threw him off the edge of the stage, even though the stage wasn't, people were playing at the house, the stage wasn't as big as it was back in the day in the Attitude Era. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the guy, he threw a dumpster off the stage, and there was a person in that dumpster. And now Kalisto's injured. He pretty much he had like a hip or something and trauma. I don't know. I guess. So yeah, that's the end of Kalisto. I'm pretty sure it is because like what the hell. But yeah. overall, this was segment of the night for me. This was just, it was exactly when I first saw the news on, I think it was Saturday when they announced it. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be Braun Strowman just annihilating Kalisto. I give them that. They gave Kalisto a win. So when he does, obviously, just storyline wise, obviously, either storyline wise, they actually get injured. But when he does come back, at least he gives Kalisto something. He could say, at the end of the day, I got my respect back. I beat Braun Strowman for him disrespecting me. So now it's like whatever. So there's that. So at the end of the day, he did get his win over. Oh my God. Sorry about that. He did get his win over Braun Strowman. So it didn't make Kalisto look bad. It definitely make Braun Strowman look bad. Another thing to point out is that during this, even though this was way later, Roman Reigns, they had an exclusive interview saying how pretty much Braun Strowman just annihilated him, and he will get his payback at Payback. Who cares? Roman Reigns, nobody cares about you, Roman Reigns. But overall, that the same between Braun Strowman and Kalisto was very awesome. I really did appreciate it. Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox. Up next. Again, Dana Brooke is officially a face now. So she fought Alicia Fox. Dana Brooke's pretty much on her own. She so much she could do it on her own. Alicia Fox, which I'm shocked that she still wrestles since she's pretty much just doing managing crap on 205 Live. So there's that. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, pretty much Emma came out after match and Dana Brooke beat Alicia Fox. Instead of, because last week, in case you guys did not remember, and it was pretty much lying to Alicia Fox, telling her that Dana Brooke was talking crap about her with the whole Noam Dar situation, which I do like the continuity, because people always joke about how cruiserweights are like not in the same world as Monday Night Raw. Like anything happens during Monday Night Raw, nothing like cruiserweights have no part in. So like I do like acknowledgement that the shit on Raw sometimes does involve the cruiserweights in some capacity. In this case, Alicia Fox. I do like that part. So yeah. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. After the whole mishap between Emma, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke, Emma was pretty much lying on Dana Brooke to get Alicia mad at her. Dana Brooke beat Alicia Fox, and I'll say a very quick match. And afterwards, I'm surprised she didn't do anything. Emma actually congratulated Dana Brooke and held up her hand, and then just saying she gave her a hug too. That was really weird. So it seems like Emma's trying to get on Dana Brooke's good side. Overall, I liked it because, again, Dana Brooke, it's just something different. I would have never expected Dana Brooke to be a face, and now they're trying something different. Hell, so I'm all for it. Like I was a fan of Dana Brooke. She's fine. She's very, obviously, she could have used more time in NXT. I feel like she got caught up way too early, but she has improved, and she learned over time being on the main roster. So at least they're doing something with Emma. And with the fact that Charlotte's gone, a lot more people could be in the spotlight now. I can definitely say that. So, yeah, Dana Brooke, good. Emma, you're also good. So hopefully this feud, which obviously is not at Payback, so we're probably going to have a match at Extreme Rules instead. So hopefully that should be very interesting between these two at Extreme Rules. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm just glad to see Dana Brooke is doing something instead of doing nothing, and they decided to put her as a face, so that's also cool, I guess. It's just weird because it came out of nowhere. And then we got the most interesting, it's not the segment of the night, but goddamn, it was the most interesting segment of them all, because boy, do I have a lot to say. I'm talking about the original 6-man tag match between Seth Rollins and with Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Samoa Joe, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Now, originally it was supposed to be those names, but when Big Cass and Enzo was making their entrance, Samoa Joe and Gallows and Anderson decided to ambush them, and they took out Enzo Amore. That cued Seth Rollins to come in and help out Big Cass. So pretty much it was a 302 situation. Kurt Angle, of all people, came out and they said, no, this will not be a handicap match. It will still be a 6-man tag. What the hell is that? So, no idea. It must be coming from outside. But anyway, Kurt Angle said this will not be a handicap match. this will still be a 6-man tag. And who else to be Seth Rollins and Big Cass partner other than Finn? Oh, my sister's here. That's why. Who else was it? Yeah, goddamn, she came. Yeah. So very much Finn Balor, he showed up. And boy, they have a lot to say about this. So, for those who aren't aware, who are living under a rock, back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Finn Balor formed the Balor Club. I said Balor Club, Bullet Club. He formed the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and some of his members were, a few people named Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So now he was fighting on the opposite side, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. What blew my mind, he had no issue fighting them, and he just fought them. It was just. It blew my mind because it was like, what happened here? We all know the history. WWE doesn't even tend to ignore it because they happen to show that SummerSlam they ignore their history because they obviously teased the whole Balor Code, Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, even AJ Styles. But besides that, overall it was a good match. The one key thing to point out is that near the end of the match, Seth Rollins was originally going to do a pedigree on Carl Anderson. He said no because again the whole Triple H situation is behind him. So he debuted a new finishing move, which pretty much it's hard to explain. Basically, pretty much it's like he holds him, he pulls him like he does like a fake Irish whip. He pulls him back instead of doing Irish whip, then he just knees him in the face. Really, pretty much just like a knees him in the face. Now, a lot of people say they stole this from Kenny Omega. Pretty much what I have to say about that is no, he didn't. People uses other people's wrestling moves all the time. It's not even stealing at this point. It's just pretty much normal how other wrestlers use other wrestlers' moves, even if it's a finishing move or not, all the time. So there's no big deal about that. Obviously, this was just also to further up on the storyline between Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe since they are facing each other at Payback. And it was also announced during the kickoff show. It will be Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Enzo Amore gets his revenge after being ambushed by Gallows and Anderson. We'll see where that goes from there. But overall, this was a very interesting match. It wasn't a segment of the night that still has to go to the dumpster match. It was just a whole Finn Balor situation. One key thing I do want to point out, though, at the end of the match, even though maybe just me looking too much into things, maybe that's just me, but hold on. Maybe it's just me just looking too much into things. But after Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Big Cass won, Finn Balor was looking at Carl like he had a concerned look on his face. Maybe that's just me, but it's still showing signs of Balor Club. Because again, why is his whole gimmick Balor Club and the Demon? What's the point of having Balor Club? He's not gonna have a club. It can't just be him. It can't just Balor Club is not just him. He's not just a one-person club here. The whole point about because I know they formed from the very beginning is to eventually have Gallows and Anderson. So we're just form a stable with Finn Balor in general. So it's like I know it's happening. He looked concerned with Carl Anderson and after he got the finishing moves. That's just me. I do feel like Balor Cup's gonna happen, but overall this was a good segment. Very much enjoyed it. Next up, we had shit. Hold on. Oh, pretty much Alexa Bliss came out. So this was the next segment. Next segment, though, was Alexa Bliss coming out saying how she will beat Bayley. She despises Bayley. She doesn't do anything. She's just this stupid person that she doesn't know why she doesn't seem credible enough to be champion. That made Bayley to come out, defend herself. Alexa Bliss really got nasty towards her. She really did. She was saying, when last did you ever even kiss a guy before? Despite the fact that in real life Bayley has a boyfriend. So there's that, as she was with him in the Hall of Fame ceremony. But besides the point, then Sasha Banks came out, and that pretty much proved Alexa Bliss' whole point. The argument saying that Sasha Banks is always there for Bayley. She can never do anything by herself. And Sasha Banks got tired of that, and she said she wants to have a match with Alexa Bliss. In case you guys don't remember, last week during the Fatal 4-Way match, the previous week during the Fatal 4-Way match for the number one contenders for the Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss screwed Sasha Banks by taking her pinfall from her. So that pretty much just screwed her over. So she wanted revenge on that one. So those two had a match. Bayley she she was weird because Bailey she had to walk. I found it hilarious though. Bailey had to walk all the way to the announcer's desk on the way because again the announcer's desk for Raw is on the ring where the stage is. So that was hilarious to me how she had to walk all the way up there. But otherwise, this was a very good back and forth match. Pretty much the first time I recall these two actually fighting one-on-one, as far as I can remember, at least. I know they didn't fight. Did they fight each other in NXT? I'm trying to remember that. I think they did. But this was when Alexa Bliss was still a face, I think. So this was definitely a new thing. The roles were pretty much reversed, I should say. Sasha Banks was the face as of right now, and Alexa Bliss was the heel. Pretty much ended a count out because Alexa Bliss said, "Screw this. I do not have time for this." Yeah. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on. Something just popped up. Okay, yeah, so that I was just reading something. But yeah. Alexa Bliss had a count out because she said, "Screw it, that's not happening." So Sasha Banks did beat Alexa Bliss via count out, and Bailey pretty much chased after. She said, "No, you're not leading like that. There's no way." So she's trying to throw Alexa Bliss back into the ring, but Alexa Bliss escaped again. Bailey throws over, but Alexa Bliss quickly came out, attacked her from behind, and Sasha Banks tried to help Bailey, but Alexa Bliss already left. So that left Bailey pretty much laying there, and pretty much for their match at Payback, which will be for the Raw Women's title. Alexa Bliss versus Bailey. Overall, this was a good segment. I mean, they had to have something. There had to be some type of conversation between these two heading into Payback. This was the last Raw, so this was very interesting to watch. The fact that I find it curious how the fact that Sasha Banks was a part of this situation. She didn't have to be because it's been promo between both Alexa Bliss and Bailey, but the fact that Sasha Banks was involved leading me to believe she would be doing much more at Payback. I'll get my thoughts later on the show with that. But moving on, we had Apollo Crews versus Kurt Hawkins. Boy, this was good. I don't mean the match, so I mean it before the match because let me tell you something. Hold on. Kurt Hawkins pretty much did his skit that he's been doing for the past 2 weeks, and he pretty much said, "Hey, this is pretty much the Kurt Hawkins fact, wrestle something, Star Factory, whatever it was called." And he said, "Who he's gonna make a star?" So he pointed when the person come out. Apollo Crews music hit, and when I tell you the crowd was dead, the crowd was dead. You could probably hear a pin drop. There was no reaction for Apollo Crews. It was beautiful. By God, how does nobody knows in that city at least who the hell Apollo Crews was? There was no reaction. You could literally hear his song on blast. There was no reaction from the crowd. They didn't know who the hell he was. It was hilarious. Sadly, Kurt Hawkins lost. Kurt Hawkins, come on, you deserve better. The Star Factory thing is actually pretty genius, but this was just further a situation with Apollo Crews. You know, this is not like really a main storyline. Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, because Titus O'Neil, he pretty much wants Apollo Crews to join this Titus brand. He feel like he could help Apollo Crews, the Crews brand or something like that. I don't remember. And they took this funny behind photo. This is on Instagram, which is hilarious. Apollo Crews is that guy always freaking smiles. It's just ridiculous. So obviously it's going to turn into actually Apollo Crews might turn heel. I would not be shocked if Apollo Crews turned heel. So that should be very interesting. He could very well turn heel with Titus O'Neil. I'm expecting just to be regular feud, but hey, Dave could throw a curveball here and make Apollo Crews turn heel. It'll give him some type of freaking character because this guy is Mr. Personality himself. Apollo Crews really needs a freaking personality. So there's that. Overall, this is all right. Again, I wish Kurt Hawkins they could do something more with gimmick, like actually let him win for once in his life. So that would be very cool, I guess. I'm just hoping. I am a fan of Kurt Hawkins ever since he came back. I wish it would just treat him better. But moving on to the main event of the show. Before the main event, The Miz was backstage, and before all of this, pretty much Heath Slater and Curtis Axel having an interview for the Marine 5 Battlefront, Homefront, whatever it's called. Obviously, it was never going to actually be an interview because The Miz interrupted them, and then during that, pretty much the official gave him this letter with the note reading, "I will be your partner," We didn't know who the hell it was. I originally thought it was going to be Elias Sampson, but sadly that was not the case because backstage, when Kurt Angle was talking to him saying, "Have you found a partner?" Elias Sampson was just playing his guitar backstage. So that was not going to be Elias Sampson. I am very upset, Elias Sampson, because again, they nailed his gimmick ever since coming to Raw. They have perfectly nailed his gimmick by just letting him just drift. He was just letting him drift, so it was like it was so good. It was very good. Again, I just love what they're doing with Elias Sampson. It's very good. But pretty much the match happened. Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho versus The Miz and a mystery opponent. Miz was waiting for his partner to come out. It never happened. So he said, Cranley said, screw it. He said regardless what was going to happen, find a partner or not, The Miz was going to wrestle. So he had to wrestle in a 2-on-1 handicap match. So that was pretty much happening. Obviously, The Miz pretty much had no chance. Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho pretty much beat the hell out of him. Miz tried to leave. That wasn't happening. And then all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt's music hits. So it turns out Bray Wyatt was the mysterious partner after all. So pretty much they took out both Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. And the heels are on top for once. And then Bray Wyatt was just holding out his hands, doing his signature gesture. Miz was like, yeah, we did it. And Bray Wyatt just looked at him. He just screw it. His sister Abigail, The Miz, and that pretty much ended the show because I should mention before the show, before the main event itself, there was promo with Bray Wyatt talking about how he could drag Randy Orton into madness and like madness itself. If madness was a thing, that's what Randy was going to get dragged into with the House of Horrors match, which is not for the WWE title. It was speculation that it was. It's officially confirmed the Raw is just a regular match based on the art, and pretty much SmackDown confirmed itself to do what happened on SmackDown. But that's when we get to SmackDown and probably in a few minutes. But overall, this was a very good segment. This was a very good segment because it does establish. I'm glad Bray Wyatt got into the main event spot, the main event part of the show. Established that he is a top player on Raw. The Miz did wonderful, despite the fact it was 2-on-1 situation. Obviously, there's going to lead into a situation between Dean Ambrose and Miz. Eventually, it won't be a Payback because Payback, the Miz will be on Miz TV with Finn Balor, out of all people. And I have a lot of speculation what's going to happen here on Payback. You may think I'm crazy for thinking this, but hear me out. Just hear me out when it comes to the Payback predictions. But overall, Raw was this was a good go-home show for Raw. They established the fact that, Bray Wyatt, he's not playing no games coming to the House of Horrors match. Pretty much carried all storylines that are going into the match itself. They played a part on Raw, whether it was Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, situation with the tag team title, situation with the women's title. Chris Jericho, despite the fact that Ken Owens is not on Raw, he's still able to further that storyline. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, despite the fact that Roman Reigns wasn't here at all this week, which I'm so glad. He's hasn't been here for 2 weeks, selling the injury. Thank God. We could have killed all momentum if Braun Strowman had Roman Reigns showed up. So I'm glad he has not shown up yet. Gives Braun Strowman all the momentum in the world going to his match against Payback, because you need all the momentum in the world, because going against Roman Reigns, pretty much going against God himself. Sadly. That's what it is. That's pretty much what the reality of it is. Overall, it was a great show. I will be right back, guys, as we head to SmackDown. So just give me a few seconds. I'm just going to refill my water, and I will be right back. We will talk about SmackDown in just probably in a minute. So I'll be right back, guys. And I am back, guys. I do apologize about that. It's just so hot in here. I'm sorry. It is very hot in here. The reason why I had to get some water is because I'm just talking. It's pretty much me just talking all by myself because I'm the only person here. As you can see, my co-host Ron is not here. However, he did give me his predictions for Payback, so he is part of the show in spirit. So, Ron, you are here in spirit. Just let you know, I'll be giving his predictions on Payback when we get to the Payback part of the show. But yeah, it's just so hot in here. It's so hot in here. But yeah, we're just gonna get into Smackdown right now. As for Smackdown, this wasn't any golden show because they have a bunch of time until Payback. However, the main spotlight was on the women's division as the main event was Charlotte versus Naomi for the Smackdown Women's title. But we will get to that when we get to that. The show opened as they advertised for the past week. Shinsuke Nakamura opened the show with the artist known himself. We didn't get really anything from Renee Young because Renee Young. First of all, it's hilarious. First of all, I want to point out, everybody's so upset that my brother and pretty much all the last social media, they're upset at the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura, they're referring to him as the artist instead of the King of Strong Style. I find it hilarious because somehow Davey always manages, when a new NXT superstar, they always manages to change something about them where there was no need to change it. Finn Balor, he's now known as the Demon King, even though he does have the Balor Club. When it comes to Demon, he's just, the Demon was just pretty much just war paint. Wasn't really anything to it. It was just, Davey spin it to a whole thing where it was just like this ancient thing that he has, the demon inside of him. It's whatever, for NXT pretty much just war paint. But NXT, the main every time you go to main roster, you always have to have a character gimmick. So he's the Demon King, Finn Balor. So yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura, he's the artist. He was King of Strong Style. What was on the King of Strong Style? Obviously, Vince McMahon or higher ups in the main roster didn't like it. So anything I come to the conclusion that anything that we did not make, they don't like it. So King of Strong Style is not what they remade. They will make the artist, goddamn it. That's what they're thinking. Same thing with Finn Balor. They will make him the Demon King, how they will make Shinsuke Nakamura the artist. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura, he was supposed to have an interview, but it didn't happen because Dolph Ziggler, he interrupted him. As we know, even though there's only been one actual altercation between the two at an actual live Smackdown, because they've been doing dark matches for the past weeks. Shinsuke Nakamura actually confronted Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was pretty much calling him a jackass. Oh, no, Nakamura called him a jackass. I misspoken. Dolph Ziggler, on the other hand, was pretty much saying he was a phony, a fake. He was pretty much telling him that he wasn't allowed to speak because Nakamura is a fake. He pretty much, since he was calling, to sum it up what he said, he pretty much saying he was Michael Jackson. Part of the Jax family is obviously to joke the fact that Nakamura has been inspired by Michael Jackson, just hip hop, the whole dancing thing, just how his character is. It was just obviously poking fun at that. He was saying he's just a nobody, a weird freak. Nakamura finally asked him a question. He said, I'll answer for you. What he said in America, because Dolph Ziggler pointed the fact that Nakamura spoke Japanese, so he translated it for him. It's pretty much saying he was Michael Jackson or whatever. So Nakamura called him a jackass. Ziggler to respond with some hands, basically, try to attack him. That didn't happen because Nakamura really get the upper hand and then show off just a left again, and he was pissed at Nakamura again. For the second time in a row, he was getting the upper hand. Overall, this was a good segment. Again, Nakamura, at least they are counting him enough to open the show. We all know this is a feud eventually is going to happen between Dolph Ziggler and Nakamura. The real interesting part is that when will Nakamura actually wrestle? I've been saying for the longest that he will not wrestle until Payback. They're saving. They want to treat Nakamura as a big deal he is, or at least Davey wants him to be the big deal that he is, that the fans keep cheering for him. So he's a screw him, treat him like a big deal. I don't actually think he will wrestle until Payback. The reason why I say that, because there's a recent teaser that came out for Payback yesterday, and it was all about Nakamura. So it makes me believe his debut match will not be until actually Payback. The question is, Smackdown has officially as of this week, they have 1, 2, 3. They had 3 Smackdowns left to build this story of Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler out. Nakamura actually fighting. There's a couple ways to go about this. Nakamura next week, what they could do, at least this is what I would do. Dolph Ziggler could attack Nakamura from behind backstage or something and just injuring him. So that gives him off the next week, and then he could come back the following week to have one final payoff just spot during a promo or whatever with Dolph Ziggler, and they can leave that way. Otherwise, the next time is just that only thing I can see is like the next 2 weeks. Dolph Ziggler has a match against somebody, Nakamura distracts him, and in the last week before Backlash, they have a contract signing. It's a bunch of ways to go about it to make sure Nakamura does not wrestle until Backlash. He won't be wrestling this Sunday. There's a lot of stuff they can do, make sure he doesn't wrestle 2 weeks. So, give or take, it's a lot of stuff they can do. Up next, we had AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. This was a rematch for from last week, and pretty much they did it again. Baron Corbin, AJ Styles. This is a very back and forth match again. AJ Styles every week on this show. Every week that AJ Styles wrestle, I would put an analogy of just like AJ Styles can wrestle. I think last week I said a donut. So this week I'll say AJ Styles can wrestle with a cookie, and the match will still be awesome. I don't know why I'm using food as like analogies or whatever. I'm just every week every week this is this now a new thing for my show. Every week when AJ Styles wrestles, I'm gonna say AJ Styles wrestle with this. It'll still be a good match. Just every week, just to prove. Put it in your heads, folks, that AJ Styles is that good. So anyway, my point was that AJ Styles again, he made Baron Corbin look so good. Baron Corbin himself, he's greatly improved. But this match was very good. It was a rematch from last week. And again, it's like last week, Kevin Owens was at commentary. He sat on commentary just looking at a match just like last week. And the match, again, for Styles, he caught the upper hand. Unlike, instead of getting a count-out victory, he got a pinfall victory by he's able to do pretty much a roll-up for the victory. After Kevin Owens tried to get involved, and AJ Styles still got a roll-up for the victory. Afterwards, both Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens tried to do the beatdown on Styles. Sami Zayn came out, and he helped try to get out Owens, and he also started attacking Corbin. He was able to hit the what the hell is it called? A haluva kick. I don't know why I can't figure out what the hell the words was called. The haluva kick. He was able to hit it on Corbin, and he was able to take him out. However, Styles still was caught in a situation as Owens was able to pop a power bomb and just pretty much showing that, hey, the only way you get in your national title is going through me, is to fight the fact that Owens still has to defend his title at Payback against Chris Jericho. But hey, overall, this was a good segment. Now, I usually don't break way this far into it, but since this was this led into this, during Talking Smack, when Sami Zayn was on the show, Corbin attacked him, and he pretty much took him out. He beat the hell out of him. He put his hands on referee because referee tried to stop, pushed the referee. I guess Corbin even realized, oh shit, I think I screwed up, because right after that, Shane Man suspended him for 1 week. So for next week's SmackDown, Baron Corbin will not be here. So it'll be interesting how they're going to play that into the storyline with him and Sami Zayn. Maybe Sami Zayn is going to say, no, you shouldn't have suspended him. I won a match against Baron Corbin, and that probably lead to a match between him and Corbin at Backlash, which is going to be very interesting. I'm trying to remember the last time Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn actually fought each other one-on-one. I know it was like near the NXT, but it was like I think that was a triple threat match actually between those two. I don't even remember, but between Corbin, Zayn, and Samoa Joe, which is funny. I mentioned all 3 of those names because all 3 of those names are on the main roster now. Really goes to show what a difference a year makes, right? But anyway, yeah. So I could potentially see Corbin versus Zayn at Backlash. That seems like what it's leading into. Next, we had to beat the clock challenge for the number 1 contenders for the SmackDown tag team titles. Pretty much the rules, if you don't know what to beat the clock challenges, but it used to be called Beat the Clock Sprint or something like that. I don't remember. Pretty much the first two teams, or it used to be Superstar, but since it's a tag team match, first two teams start off the match. Whatever team wins the match, they set the clock, pretty much saying, okay, say if, well, in this case, America Alpha beat Primo Epico in 5 minutes 17 seconds. So the next team, which was Breezango and the Ascension, they had to beat either or. Those two had to beat each other in less than that to become number one contenders. So had they not, or if they didn't, American Alpha in this case would have became number one contenders. So either by saying that, American Alpha did beat the Colones, Primo Epico, in the tag team match, which was a good match. It doesn't make any sense to me, really, because it's like, okay, for the past 2 weeks, Primo Epico, this is the issue with 50-50 booking. Simon Miller from Walk pretty much said it too, and I do agree with him. 50-50 booking, because like the past 2 weeks, Primo Epico pretty much had the upper hand against American Alpha. Now all of a sudden, when it actually matters, American Alpha beat the Colones. So it's like, okay, what was the point? And for Primo Epico beating them when it didn't matter for the past 2 weeks, but I guess again with 50-50 booking, since this they had given American Alpha something, so I guess it will equal those 2 weeks of the Colones dominating American Alpha. So American Alpha just won. So I guess again, it's just weird. I can see this pretty much being a tag team match at Backlash. These two fighting against each other in the tag match against Backlash. But yeah, the reason why I say, you probably say, so why am I saying that American Alpha set the time for the clock and they won? Well, later I will explain that. They also showed a promo with the New Day. They're still coming to SmackDown, however, since Kofi Kingston is still injured. They had to wait. They're just going to be advertising instead, so they had to wait till Kofi Kingston is healed, so they could actually have New Day on SmackDown fully. Speaking of advertisement, Lana is also advertising. So again, I'm convinced that she's a stripper. That's her gimmick. I swear to God, that's what it is. Pretty much that's what they're advertising. And speaking of Lana, Rusev. Rusev addresses the WWE Universe, and he pretty much said, hey, I don't like SmackDown Live. I don't like Daniel Bryan, and I don't like Shane McMahon. The only way I will wrestle at SmackDown Live for SmackDown Live, unless he gives him a championship opportunity. He wants a championship opportunity at Money in the Bank, which is not until June. So this pretty much confirmed that Rusev will make his return at Money in the Bank. That gives now we know the return window because Rusev was injured. We know really when. Now we know the return window is at Money in the Bank, which is after Backlash, all the way in June. So we still have almost over a month, almost 2 months before we see Rusev. But I do like this. I do like my sister left, so it could be peace and quiet here. I do like the fact that Rusev is that I like how this is why I like WWE, what they're doing now ever since the brand split. Long-term story booking. We already know in advance that so coming out of Payback, whoever wins, the issue is there's no concrete information whether Bruce is referring to the United States title or WWE title. More than likely he's referring to WWE title, because why would he want the United States title? He already had the championship opportunity with that. So I'm assuming he's referring to WWE title. So that pretty much confirms that either Randy Orton or Jinder Mahal will be facing Rusev for the Money in the Bank for the WWE title. I like where this is going because, again, long-term story booking. They already planned in advance what the next feud is going to be. They're already set in stone for the audience to know, hey, look out for Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal because this is very important, because they will either or may potentially be facing Rusev if Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan gives in to his demands. So facing Rusev for the WWE title. So that'll be very interesting to see there. So yeah. Overall, I did like this. This was perfect storytelling, in my opinion. It gives Rusev something, make him a big deal that he always was. So if he truly did mean WWE title, I'm very glad. Very, very looking forward to seeing what happens there. Moving on with Randy Orton and Eric Rowan, a no disqualification match. this was a very interesting match, to say the least. More interesting what happened after. Again, this is pretty much just a build to at Payback, despite the fact Raw pay-per-view is an inter-brand match because this match was scheduled before Superstar Shakeup happened. Bray Wyatt will face Randy Orton in the House of Horrors match. So for one last-ditch effort to try to pretty much injure Orton before House of Horrors match, Eric Rowan fought Randy Orton, no disqualification match. Very interesting match. It was kind of slow at first, but it was some nice spots like Eric Rowan going to the table, Eric Rowan hitting Randy Orton with those kendo stick shots. It was very cool. At the end, Randy Orton hit Eric Rowan with the RKO out of nowhere. Had JBL describe, it wasn't out of nowhere for the win. After the match, however, Orton, he cut a promo saying, "This is just nothing compared to what I'm going to do at the House of Horrors match." He said, "I've been through worse." Bray Wyatt, he didn't get what's coming to him. He'll make Bray Wyatt the House of Horrors match Wyatt's eternal hell. So pretty much saying Bray Wyatt's going to go to hell, I guess. However, Jinder Mahal interrupted him, and he's saying how he will pretty much show him he got disrespected. He felt like he got disrespected Randy Orton because he's pretty much overlooking the fact that Jinder Mahal's number one contender. You have to worry about him. Don't worry about Bray Wyatt. Worry about me. So he was very irritated with that, and he was saying he's going to beat him at Backlash to win the WWE title. Pretty much then those two went at it. And then the Singh brothers, I should say, Shuli Singh and Samara Singh. It used to be the Bollywood boys, Gira and Shira. The Bollywood boys, but I guess they renamed them. So, yeah, that's a thing, I guess. So they decided to rename him for some odd reason. So that was kind of weird. I don't know why they named the Bollywood boys, but hey, whatever. They helped Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal did his finishing move, which is pretty much like a half Nelson Islam. And surprisingly, Jinder Mahal actually literally took the WWE title and ran away with it. He got a limousine with both the Singh brothers, and Jinder Mahal took the title with him. That was hilarious to me. He was holding up, he was saying in his native language, which is, I don't want to be racist here. He says something in his native language. I don't want to be racist and offend people who's watching this. I don't remember exactly what language it was, but he said it in his language. And yeah, Jinder Mahal actually took the Smackdown title. I feel like we did this for two reasons. First, just to establish the fact that Jinder Mahal, again, Randy Orton he shouldn't overlook Jinder Mahal, so he's going to make a statement by showing him he shouldn't overlook him by actually taking the WWE title away from him. And second, this was just kind of just a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It was just WWE's way of basically saying, yes, for those who kept speculating that the House of Horrors match was for the WWE title, you can put the speculation to rest because it's not for WWE title. It's actually smart, too, because even if they were to say this was for the WWE title, it can't be for it now since Jinder Mahal took the title. So this was actually smarter than to actually book it this way. Just to confirm the fact that the House of Horrors match will not be for the WWE title. So there's that. Up next was the second Beat the Clock Sprint Challenge, Breezango versus the Ascension. I was so conflicted in this match because, again, I love the Ascension, despite the fact that they always treat them like a freaking ginger child or a stepchild. And I love Tyler Breeze. Fandango, he has grown on me, but not as much as Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, I've been with him since day one. I'm not gonna lie, I do like Fandango ever since his performance on Southpaw Regional Wrestling with Lance Cameron and Chet Cheddarfield. Who's Chet Cheddarfield? Chet Cheddarfield. Which one was Fandango? It doesn't matter. Both John Cena and Fandango was hilarious. That's beside the point. I was so conflicted in this match with Tyler Breeze and Fandango. So, yeah, it was pretty much back and forth. The Ascension, they would look dominant in the beginning. Sadly, we are in day we were Ascension never wins. But I'm glad because Tyler Breeze and Fandango actually won. So Tyler Breeze, for the first time ever, is getting a championship opportunity on the main roster. Or I should say tag team opportunity. He did have an opportunity at the Intercontinental title, but that's besides the point. Tyler Breeze getting his tag team title opportunity with Fandango to face the Usos at Backlash for SmackDown Tag Title. I'm so happy. This segment was good. I loved it because Tyler Breeze finally getting a championship opportunity, first time in a while. as I always said, he should have been Intercontinental Champion within his first year here. So at least he's having an opportunity with one title at least. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, I'm very glad. And then move on to the main event: Charlotte versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title. Now, yeah, it is no contest. First of all, I do want to point out, Charlotte, with this happening, Charlotte became the only female superstar to main event Raw, SmackDown, and a pay-per-view. No other female superstar can say that. So congratulations, Charlotte, for accomplishing that feat. Besides that, the match itself was good. This is one of the few first times that I remember Naomi and Charlotte actually fighting each other one-on-one. So this was a very interesting match upon itself. However, it ended in a no contest, so we will never know the answer of who's actually better, Charlotte and Naomi, because Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella attacked both of them. So, and I mean both of them. However, I should point out, and again, maybe I read between the lines a little bit. Tamina did not attack Naomi. Only Natalya and Carmella did. She only focused on Charlotte. She only ever focused on Charlotte. Tamina did not attack Naomi because, again, they're both family in real life. So that was very interesting to see. Maybe I'm just looking into it way too much, but I could potentially see a feud between Naomi and Tamina. They're just saving it because they probably know how good it'll probably be, since it's real life. It's a real life situation between family. So that should be very interesting. At the end, however, pretty much Natalya, Tamina, Kamala. I'm about to say Kamala instead of Carmella. Those three were standing tall, pretty much acknowledge the fact that those three are stable. And it looks like this was a Charlotte face turn, because why would the heels attack another heel unless that heel's turning face? So this pretty much confirmed the Charlotte face turn. Overall, the match was fine itself. I wish it was a clear-cut winner. But before it was no contest, I personally thought Charlotte was going to win, because why not? Why not give Charlotte the women's title? They gave it the Raw women's title 5 times, so why not? On SmackDown, give her the title already. So yeah, overall, SmackDown was a good show. I'm glad that they actually see SmackDown. I want to point out what SmackDown, so people don't realize it. SmackDown, it's again, this coming back to days when it first started, where it's like, it's not about who has like star power, pretty much who are the most working, like they are pretty much the workforce. SmackDown, as you'd like to call them. They have just pretty much the best wrestlers they have on the roster: AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. And then they have the up and comers like Baron Corbin, Tyler Breeze. It's like they're like the work show. They are the work show. They have a very diverse roster. Make it seem like it's a B-list, so like they have B-list stars, but it's like they're pretty much the workforce. They will probably give you the best matches compared between Raw and SmackDown. I feel like SmackDown will give you the best matches. Raw, again, as I said from the very beginning with the brand split, Raw is for the stories, SmackDown's for the wrestling. And I feel like with this roster, it's definitely with the wrestling, especially we have AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Like, come on. All three were on the same show. It's like, come on, you're going to get something good out of there, especially with Shinsuke Nakamura as well. What? And Ty Dillinger? Like, are you – exactly. This is pretty much the work show. They have a very awesome roster. It's like people kept saying how SmackDown got short in the stick. And again, SmackDown are taking chances. This is not a pun, despite the fact that's their theme song with the for SmackDown, Take a Chance, which I do like the song. Jinder Mahal, number one contender for the WWE title. Never thought would happen. But again, SmackDown's landed an opportunity. So they're building up stars as well. So it's very interesting. And it says it's going to be 65 degrees tomorrow. Hopefully, I pray to God it gets fucking hot as hell. Speaking of which, let me just what is the freaking goddamn? It's 84 degrees. That makes a lot of sense. So please, I hope it is 60. Like, for God's sakes, goddamn. But no wonder it's 84 freaking degrees. It's hot as hell. But yeah. Like I said, SmackDown is the work show. I do appreciate what they're doing with SmackDown. They're saying, hey, even though you pretty much took all our main Raw stars like The Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Bray Wyatt, we can still build up new ones just as good. So I do like that. SmackDown is the workforce. So they have a good roster, despite what people are thinking. They have very good roster, especially the women's too. You have Charlotte, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Natalya. Like, those women will carry the roster too to help out Tamina and Carmella and them. So it's like, again, they have a very diverse roster. And it's very interesting, to say the least. Let me just take this to border and we'll get into 205 Live. I probably wouldn't be this talked out had it not be so damn hot in here. By God, it's so hot. It had to be 84 degrees. It really did, didn't it? But moving on. We're on 205 Live. Again, this is the last 205 Live before Payback. So the main event here was actually Austin Aries. Was it Austin Aries? No, it was Neville versus Jack Gallagher. I kind of spoiled what happened with 205 Live, but we're moving on. First things first. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus Noam Dar and Brian Kendrick. Now, two feuds going on here. Noam Dar with Swann and Brian Kendrick and Austin. I said about to say Austin Aries. Akira Tozawa. But Noam Dar and Rich Swann last week, in case you guys don't remember, Rich Swann revealed the fact that he was only sending gifts to Alicia Fox because he's getting his revenge back for Sega Alexander after Alicia Fox dumped him for Noam Dar. So it seemed like Alicia Fox also dumped Noam Dar. So I don't know why Noam Dar would even care about doing this match. It seemed like he was doing for Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox. As Noam Dar like to say, I love when he says it like that. Hope they'll be able to replicate him when he said that. But so there's that. That's one feud going on. In terms of Brian King and Akira Tozawa, for the second week in a row or third week in a row, Akira Tozawa is now teaching Brian Kendrick lessons. And especially last week, as Akira Tozawa and Tony Nese fought each other, Brian Kendrick trying to get involved. That didn't work out in Tony Nese's favor because Akira Tozawa was able to get the pinfall on Tony Nese. And Tony Nese was very pissed about that. And he attacked Brian Kendrick instead of Akira Tozawa. Make Akira Tozawa, again, what up, Brian Kendrick again. So putting two storylines together into one, Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa fought Noam Dar and Brian Kendrick. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa won at the end of the day, and Tozawa again put another lesson on Brian Kendrick: always choose a partner wisely. He's pretty much saying how Noam Dar was not really the best partner. It was a good. No, I'm getting hiccups now. I guess I drank too much water. It was a good match overall. As I kept saying for weeks, and keep reiterating the point. These storylines are fine. I mean, Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa's storyline is fine. It's just in terms of Noam Dar and Rich Swann story, I hope there's some. Again, so Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa, their feud is fine. I'm liking that. I like Noam Dar's Rich Swann story. It does involve Alicia Fox or whatever. I wanted it to be something worth. Like, hopefully, this story actually means something. Put meaning into the story. As I said last week, what this should end up being. Probably next week, I should say, for 205 Live, it should be Noam Dar versus Rich Swann one more time. Whoever wins, tender for the Cruiserweight title. That just make the story actually mean something. As for Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa, let this end in the best. I can see this ending in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And Akira Tozawa, I can see that happening. But Rich Swann, Noam Dar, make it have some actual meaning. The winner becomes the number one contender for the Cruiserweight title. We could be very interested to see either Rich Swann either fighting Neville or Austin Aries, or Noam Dar either fighting Austin Aries versus Neville. I would love to see Austin Aries versus Neville. I mean, Noam Dar feud. That should be very interesting indeed. But let the story have actual meaning. I didn't care about the Alicia Fox whole storyline at first, and I guess Sega Alexander will be coming back soon. They hinted at that last week with Swan. So again, let it have some meaning. I mean, I can see Sega Alexander coming back, probably betraying versus Swan because all the hoax all along, which would be stupid itself. So let's just go the easier route, the simpler route. Noam Dar versus Swan one more time. Winner can no contender for Cruiserweight title. Let's actually just let it have actual meaning. That's just me, though. Moving on, though. Tony Nese did defeat Mustafa Ali via disqualification because Drew Gulak, as in case you guys don't know, the other story with 205 Live is that Drew Gulak is trying to help change 205 Live for the better by having a no-fly zone. Mustafa Ali is pretty much one of the main poster childs for flying and stuff. So for second week in a row, Mustafa Ali got distracted by Drew Gulak this time this actually cost him again because Tony Nese actually went via disqualification after Drew Gulak pulled his partner because those two are pretty much friends with each other outside ring. So Mustafa Ali not hit his inverted 450. So Mustafa Ali was actually very pissed about that. He got on top rope and did this crazy, I don't know what that was called. Senton, I'll say it's a senton. It was a senton. Out from the outside against Drew Gulak. He just wanted to, again, kill Drew Gulak for keep interrupting him. The look on his face, and Drew Gulak just comes out, I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying to help. So obviously this leads to a match between these two in the future. Again, this is one of the simple stories. Again, this the whole, you don't need a girlfriend for like Alicia Fox to ever have that evolve or whatever. It doesn't lead anywhere. Cruiserweights, let them have simple stories like NXT. Like NXT, just have simple story just to the point. Now we know the feud between Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak. The fact that Drew Gulak just keep getting Mustafa Ali's way because the whole high flying thing. So obviously those two are gonna have a blow off match, 1-on-1 eventually. So there's that. That was a good segment anyway. Gave Tony Nese involved, made Tony Nese might actually it's a tip because again this might bring an interesting dynamic too because Tony Nese, you know, his whole gimmick is he moves like a cruiserweight, hits like a heavyweight. He is still a cruiserweight. He does some high-flying stuff as well. So maybe Drew Gulak, won't be able to convince Tony Nese to be involved in whatever shenanigans he's trying to pull here as well. So it's going to be very interesting to say at least how Tony Nese might get involved into this. Who knows? He might definitely get involved somehow. And then move on to the main event itself. Neville versus gentleman Jack Gallagher. It was a very hard-hitting match. By God, let me tell you something. Jack Gallagher, I fear for you. That headbutt that you can freaking hear. Jesus Christ, man. I don't want you to come next Crispin Wild with your head problems. By God. Every time you hit a headbutt, and I hear, and this one, this is the last I ever heard it because I think Neville felt that one. His look in his eyes, just by God, man. The headbutt's awesome, but I feel like you should just really stop doing it, man. And I'm getting scared just thinking about it myself. When you keep hitting it, it's really scary because it could cause problems, man. But by God, Jack Hurley, that headbutt. It was a hard hitting match. It really was a hard hitting match. Pretty much on par with their Fastlane match too. I still prefer their Fastlane match over this one, but Neville and Jack Gallagher gave their all. Again, the cruiserweights can put on a good match. The only issue I fear like the crowd doesn't care. They just don't care. It's just the simple fact is sometimes they just don't care about 205 Live. Sometimes they do care. Like that one point, I remember that Fatal 5-Way match. They care about that one. It was on their feet for that one. In general, this crowd. I don't blame Neville or Gallagher at all because this crowd was dead the whole show. It was just getting more. He opened the damn show. He was there with them, so it was like this crowd in general just sucked. So, they gave their all in this match, and Neville came out victorious with that submission move. And, at the end, I attacked Jack Gallagher again, and this time Austin Aries came out, and he helped Jack Gallagher by hitting him with the discus 5-arm, and he put on the last chance for against Neville, and Neville tried to escape again. And just pretty much just signaling the fact that this won't be over until this Sunday when it's going to be the first cruiserweight title. Jack Gallagher versus Neville versus Austin Aries for the cruiserweight title in the WrestleMania rematch. Overall, 205 Live was a very good show. Final 205 Live to Payback. Again, my only gripe is where the fuck is Grand Metalik? Where is he? Where is Grand Metalik, my favorite cruiserweight? Where the hell is he? That's all I gotta say about that. Looking forward to all the future feuds with Rich Swann, Noam Dar, wherever that leads. As I kept saying, hopefully leads to a number one contenders match and just makes the most, at least get something out of this feud. Brock Akira and Akira Tozawa, this could eventually lead to 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm presumably assume. Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak, they're obviously going to have a match 1-on-1 eventually. When whatever Tony Nese is involved with that, who knows? And Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins might have something after this. But Neville and Austin Aries is the main focus that they should be. They're the best 2 cruiserweights on 205 Live cruiserweight division in general. So let them have the spotlight. I can see them wrestle all the time. So let me just get this other sip of water, and we're moving on to NXT. So NXT. The main focus on NXT this week was our, who we just saw him yesterday, the day prior, facing Tyler Bate for the United Kingdom Championship. Whoever happens with that, you'll have to find out in the main event itself. But starting off the show was very interesting, to say at least, because Nikki Cross just came out of nowhere. And she was just saying, hey, Ruby, I just want to come out and play. And she's chanting for Ruby, where are you? Ruby, like, where the hell are you? We was just waiting to see where the hell the person was, and nope, nothing. Just nothing. Like, she didn't do nothing for him. So, like, Rewrite the show, and then eventually Rewrite this show up, and they just had a brawl and were just beating the hell out of each other. Those two, they could not had enough. They had enough against each other. And later after this, Roman Regal said those two will face each other one-on-one in an official match later tonight. So interesting opener. I can't recall the last time NXT actually opened with women. So at least they're proving the fact that this feud should matter to people. And Nikki Cross, again, I love Nikki Cross. I think she's my favorite. I'm trying to remember. She's my favorite NXT women's superstar besides freaking Asuka and Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. See, by naming those people, I pretty much have more than favorite people on female roster with NXT. But overall, out of all of them, I like Nikki Cross the most. There's just something about her. She seems much more interesting than the rest of the women people on NXT besides Asuka, of course, and Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I know. What am I talking about? Also, I wanted to point out they did a promo package with Roderick Strong. Who is Roderick Strong? Where the hell did this come from? Roderick Strong's been here since October. Why are you just now telling us it took just to say, you know what? It seems like this guy's not clicking with the fans, even though I have no problem with Roderick Strong. I think he's good. He's been doing this for years with Ring of Honor, so I feel like he's good. And a lot, even though Grandpa the casual fan doesn't know, so I get why. But it took 6 months. 6 months just come out for who the hell is Roderick Strong? It took you 6 months to figure that out, saying, hey, you know what? We should probably tell this guy because he's a real deal. He's important. The NXT universe, who the hell this guy is. So I did like, don't get me wrong, I love the video pack. I love it about his history. It's very interesting, at least how his father, drug dealer. I said drug dealer. He was a rock star. His mother, he had issues with his mother. That since then they was able to resolve those issues, and now it's just like, who is Roderick Strong? Very interesting indeed. I can't wait to see part 2 next week. So yeah, very much really enjoyed it. I just find it hilarious how it took 6 months for them saying, hey, you know what? If this guy, if we're gonna consider him a main star in NXT, we might as well probably should have did this a long time ago. But yeah. I just found that hilarious. Up next, Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almas. This was a very hard-hitting match, to say the least. This came from the fact that last week, during a backstage, during performance, I should say, Andrade confronted Drew McIntyre saying, hey, I got you next week, and they got each other next week. It was a very back-and-forth match. Andrade actually gave to Drew McIntyre. He was giving him like hell, and Drew McIntyre eventually just got fed up with him, just beat the hell out of Andrade, hit him, finished with the big boot. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre again victorious. Tech week. I mean, very much on a winning streak with NXT, and then now it's against Andrade. After the match over, Andrade, he just did not care, I guess, because he just went out partying with girls, and I find it very interesting. I want to see where this leads. What is the purpose of him just? I guess it's just so that he just doesn't care if he wins or loses. He's gonna party anyway. That's just him, so it just doesn't affect him. Winning or losing does not affect what he's gonna do after the match. So that's interesting. See where that goes. Drew McIntyre, obviously, he's gonna be going for the world. The NXT title eventually. That's actually where that's going. Aleister Black versus Keanu Reeves. What can I say? The only difference between this time and last time Aleister Black fought on NXT is that Calgary's actually gave him a few punches. Otherwise, Aleister Black just beat the crap out of him, and that kick is so deadly. The fade to black. Is it called the fade to black? No, it's a roundhouse kick. I forgot what it was called, but it just like his moniker is just fade to black, and just by God, that kick just it was something else. I still don't know is he considered a face or a heel. He's facing heel people. I just can't figure out whether he's a face or a heel. So he gets to an actual feud with somebody. I can't tell. Oh, I do like Aleister Black. I do like where he's going, what they're doing for his character, and yeah, we just have to wait until we figure out more what they're gonna do with him. I don't know. I wonder what his first major feud is gonna be. That's gonna be against Eric Young, because if he is a face, he could easily feud Eric Young. That's gonna be very interesting. Sanity versus Aleister Black. I'm just saying, people, that sounds interesting to me. Moving on, Nikki Cross versus Ruby Riott. It never actually happened because when Ruby Riott was making her entrance, Nikki Cross just attacked her from behind. They just kept brawling and brawling and brawling. It was to the point where Nikki Cross literally had to be carried out of the ring, or the arena, I should say, because they just down my leg. They literally grabbed her arms and her leg, just make sure, because she's just so unstable, make sure she just couldn't do anything. So yeah, that was very interesting, to say the least. Also, next week, Asuka was informed that there will be a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's title. Asuka clearly did not care because, like, whatever. She beating everybody there is to beat here in NXT, so it doesn't even matter. So next week, we officially do know there will be a fatal four-way. I said fatal four-way. Battle royal. Almost kind of spoiled it. Battle royal for the NXT Women's title. So yeah, overall, I like where Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross go and gives the new women something different, because they are technically the newest women for NXT, compared to like Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce and Aaliyah and Liz Morgan. They are relatively the newer ones, so I do like where this is going between them, and just can't wait to see what happens with them. I think they will be involved in the Battle Royal as well, so let's see. Maybe one of them might become the number one contender. Who knows? Maybe both of them. Then we get on to the main event itself, the United Kingdom title. Tyler Bate versus Jack Gallagher. Very interesting match, to say the least. Those submissions, see, Jack Gallagher went back to his original stuff that he'd been doing with the Cruiserweight Classic. Those freaking submission moves, by God, Jack. They look painful. Like, give it to Tyler Bate too for selling those submission holds. They look painful. I would never want to get in a fight with Jack Gallagher. They look painful as hell. And I also like to point out there were a few United Kingdom tournament superstars. They're at ringside. Wolfgang, Trent Seven, Wolfgang. I already said Wolfgang. I meant to say Pete Dunne, and Mark Andrews. They were all at ringside. Again, eventually we will get a weekly UK show, which I'm very much looking forward to. I want to see Joseph Connors again. He's my guy, Joseph Connors. But anyway, Tyler Bate came out victorious. He is still United Kingdom champion. And that pretty much in NXT. End on a weird note because it was for the UK title. Had nothing to really do with NXT. They just had to keep showcasing the United Kingdom before they actually get their show up and running. So overall, NXT was an interesting show, to say the least, I would say. Next week we'll have the battle royal for the number one contenders for the NXT Women's title. So it'll be interesting to see who step up the plate and fight Asuka, because literally she ran through every single person. Who else is there to face Asuka and who will actually beat her? We'll find out with NXT next week. And we are done with my weekly analysis of all the major shows for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and 205 Live. There's only one thing left to do this week, and that is to go over Payback. Oh, this is going to be a good one. So get a sip of the drink. And we're about to get started. Just check on a few things. All right, let's get started. For Payback. Payback is this Sunday. it's a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. You know, it has 2 matches that will involve SmackDown Live Superstars. That's because of Superstar Shakeup happening before these matches actually could have happened before Superstar Shakeup. The match was already announced, so it was going to happen anyway. We are going to go over the list. As I said before, Ron did give his predictions. So as I go through these matches, I'll also tell you which what stuff happened with what Ron said with his predictions too. So I'm looking at it. So in order, this is how we're gonna go. First things first, the kickoff. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Ron predicted Enzo Amore will be going over Gallows and Anderson. I will disagree. The reason is it really all depends to me, because I know this is completely going 450, but it really depends. I predict that Gallows and Anderson are actually going to win. It's because I feel like Finn Balor's can get involved. You're gonna say I'm crazy, but I feel like it's gonna happen. It really depends. It all depends on what segment comes first. If Miz TV comes before Gallows and Anderson and Enzo Amore Big Cass. Let me just explain. Well, here, let me explain. On Miz TV, here's what I think is gonna happen. On Miz TV, Miz TV is gonna be interviewing Finn Balor, and I feel like he's gonna ask him the hard question. You're gonna say, "Wait, I feel like what's gonna happen here? You know, this is a long shot. I feel like what's going to happen is Miz going to bring a question is last week on Raw, you was on the opposite side of your former friends, Gallows and Anderson. Are you guys still friends?" And Finn Balor will have a question to that. And then Gallows and Anderson will come out and say, "Are we still friends?" And it's going to be debate, and it's going to get into their tag team match. And Gallows and Anderson is going to win because somehow Finn Balor is going to get involved. And it's like, again, I even called it from the very beginning. It was going to somehow Finn Balor was going to turn heel somehow with Enzo Amore, and somehow to involve Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and those are also his friends. My whole thing is, it's a long shot because why is all this happening on the kickoff show, which nobody cares about, on a kickoff show, especially for B-list pay-per-view like Payback? Why would this major thing happen on the kickoff show? It is beyond me, but this is a long shot. So even though, Ron, you did say Enzo and Cass, I have to go with Gallows and Anderson because I feel like this will be it really depends. I say Gallows and Anderson only if Miz TV happens before this match. If this happens after this match, if the Miz TV happens after this match, then I will probably say Enzo and Big Cass. But if it happens before, if Miz TV happens before this match, I have to say Gallows and Anderson. I'm calling it. I know it's weird because on a kickoff show, out of all things, something major like this, this could actually benefit Davey too. This would give more people a reason to tune into the kickoff show because, like, holy crap, something major is Finn Balor turning heel. Having on a kickoff show, the kickoff show is something worth watching. Maybe that's what they're going with, but I feel like I don't know. I'm still my prediction, regardless if it happens, I still think Gallows and Anderson's gonna win. I feel like they need it. They need it more. So Gallows and Anderson, they're going to win, especially the fact that they lost their Broad Tech tells WrestleMania. I feel like they need more, but in my back of my head, I feel like Balor Cup's about to happen. I feel like it is. I personally feel like it is. I don't know. It's hard to say, but my official prediction is gonna be Gallows and Anderson. That's just me. I said Miss TV's already happened. So moving on, we have the Cruiserweight title between Neville and Austin Aries. Pretty much gonna be Cruiserweight title. Ron's prediction was Neville's gonna be over Austin Aries. I feel like Austin Aries is gonna win. I feel like I can't justifiably see them going at it one more time if Neville beats him at Payback for this feud to go on the Extreme Rules. I know this feud is gonna go to Extreme Rules, and I feel like it's gonna end in a ladder match or Extreme Rules match. One of those two are gonna happen. Okay, it just makes sense for these two to have it, and either a ladder match or Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules. So, with that being said, the only way that could logically happen is if Neville loses against Austin Aries. Again, don't get me wrong, I do like Neville's reign. It's been incredible. He's the reason why Cruiserweight is actually still relevant. Him and Aries, both of them. But for this feud to continue for one more month, Austin Aries has to win against Neville. Now, there is a caveat here. Neville could win if TJ Perkins gets involved. What could happen is Neville, the argument could be Austin Aries had the match won, but TJ Perkins interfered and helped Neville retain. That could lead into saying, you know what? At Extreme Rules, make sure there's nobody involved. This would be a steel cage match between Austin Aries and Neville, which would very good as well. But for my prediction, I still think Austin Aries is going to win. He's going to be walking out as a Cruiserweight champion. Just, again, logically, from a booking standpoint, if Cruiserweight is just simple storytelling, Austin Aries makes no sense winning so they could carry over to one more month with Payback. With Extreme Rules. So then by great balls of fire, they can have a new feud going on for Cruiserweight title against whoever the next challenger is. So, yeah. I feel like Austin Aries is going to win. Ron said Neville. I say Austin Aries. So it's two predictions we disagree with. Moving on to Raw Women's title, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. He had Bayley. Ron had Bayley with Bliss. I also agree. I don't think Bayley is losing her title. It won't be against Alexa Bliss. I can tell you that much. Alexa Bliss just came. She's hot right now. I can't fathom seeing her lose get the title right off of Bayley that quickly. The same. Then again, I figured the same thing Charlotte was going to happen with Naomi this past week of Smackdown. I was proven wrong. The only reason why, because again, we all predicted that Bayley was going to lose the title at WrestleMania. Actually, no, I didn't predict that. Everybody else predicted that. I predicted Bayley was going to retain, but everybody else thought she was going to lose the title at WrestleMania. So my whole thing is, if she didn't lose at WrestleMania, she ain't losing that Payback, because we all know who's going to take it from her. It's going to be either Nia Jax or Sasha Banks. Either way, got something involved with Sasha Banks, because we know the eventual heel turn with Sasha Banks is coming. We just don't know when it might actually transpire. This tomorrow, this Sunday, when Sasha Banks probably will attack Bayley afterwards. I find it hard to believe she will not be involved in this pay-per-view whatsoever. She will be involved in some type of matter with this match. I can tell you that much. If she might turn heel, I feel like this will be the show that she will turn heel with, a lead to their match at Extreme Rules. So, yeah, I do predict that Bayley will retain against Alexa Bliss, and Ron agrees. So this is one match we agree with. Now we move on to the Raw Tag Team titles. The Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. That's interesting. Ron got Cesaro and Sheamus over the Hardys. See, I wish he was here because we can. I want to know your reasoning for these predictions. But damn, that's actually very interesting. I was not expecting him to pick that. He picked Cesaro and Sheamus over the Hardys. I actually disagree. I think the Hardys are going to win because they literally came back. I can't picture. I get Davies are full of surprises. You never know what happens. I just can't picture them losing the titles this quickly, because what I think is going to happen is that Cesaro and Sheamus is going to turn heel against the Hardys. So I feel like that's what's going to happen, because they've been hitting at it for weeks. That again, even despite them losing, they've been neutral. So you know what, we're still going to respect the Hardys, and it's just going to reach a boiling point at Payback and say, screw it, no, we lost 3 times in a row. Screw that, no more Mr. Nice Guy to them, and it's going to attack them at the end. I feel like this signals a heel turn for Sheamus Cesaro, or if not that, I still predicted the Hardys going to win. It might turn to a heel turn with Sheamus and Cesaro in general. Like Sheamus is going to turn heel against Cesaro, so those two can redo their feud again. I said at WrestleMania, I think the Sheamus and Cesaro team ran its course. They accomplished what they needed to accomplish. Nobody can take away the fact that they're the ones who beat the New Day, ended their longest reigning tag team title reign in history of WWE. Nobody could take that away from them. But I feel like the team ran its course, and I always say with teams, they should always break up when they're at their peak. I feel like Cesaro and Sheamus have reached their peak, and I think they're about to go after their peak. So to prevent them from being stale, break it up now. What better way to do it with a high-profile team like the Hardys? I say Hardys retain, but I signal this either a heel turn for the team itself. Now, if they turn heel, it freshens them up, so I would have no problem with them staying as a team. But they don't turn heel, at least make Sheamus turn heel, even though he was kind of already, he was still heel in the eyes of the fan against Cesaro, and there's that. I mean, no, Sheamus did turn face technically, or they could do an interesting dynamic. Either way, the team of Sheamus and Cesaro are turning heel. Whether it's them turning heel against the Hardys or them turning heel against each other, either it could be Sheamus turning heel on Cesaro, or hell, Cesaro turning heel against freaking Sheamus. That would be unexpected, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm shocked. Ron picked Cesaro and Sheamus. I'd love to hear his reasoning over the Hardys, but I believe the Hardys are going to retain. It's too early. It's way too early for them to lose their titles, in my opinion, at least. But moving on to what I feel like should have been the main event, a Payback, just because to me, this seems like the longest story going in from WrestleMania to here. This has been going on before WrestleMania, so I feel like because of the longevity of the feud, this should have been the main event of Payback. I'll talk about the United States title, Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. Since again, there's no Universal title match on the card. This should have been the main event because this was their most important title. Even though the Superstar shakeup happened, so the Intercontinental title is now technically their second most important title on Raw. The United States title is going to SmackDown regardless. I guess from thinking about it in a storyline perspective, why would Raw want this match the main event? Their Raw pay-per-view show, because if Chris Jericho wins, the title's going to SmackDown. So, like, what was the point? At the end of the day, Raw's getting a shaft for the United States title anyway. So after thinking about it for a second, I guess it makes sense. I just personally think had Superstar Shakeup did not happen, this should have main evented Payback. If the Universal title is not going to be on Payback. Over that rant, Ron picked Owens over Jericho. I agree. Obviously, I feel like Kevin Owens is going to win because the whole face of America think he needs United States title for that. So, and it just started, so he can need United States title for that. Not saying Chris Jericho wouldn't have won, it would just be all know in real life Jericho's touring with Fozzy right after this, and his last Raw appearance for a long time is going to be on Raw this Monday. So it's like, it honestly makes the most sense. Kevin Owens is going to beat Jericho. He's going to take title SmackDown. We're going to have AJ Styles versus Owens at Backlash. Probably one hell of a match. So, yeah. Owens over Jericho. Not saying this won't be a good match. It probably might be match of the night, right up there with Austin Aries and Neville. Because, again, as I said, I will always defend this. This should have been for the Universal title. It really should have been for the Universal title, because Brock did not need to win the title. Because as you can see right now, the Universal title is not on Raw, despite the fact being its world title in your main event with Owens and Jericho for Universal title. But hey, it's whatever, I guess. I always say it should have been for Universal title, because this was Universal title's quality story here. But hey, Owens is going to retain against Jericho. And Gary goes for that match. Now, next up is Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Very interesting match indeed. Ron picked Rollins. I picked Joe. The reason why I picked Joe is because Samoa Joe had no part of WrestleMania whatsoever. He literally had nothing to do with WrestleMania. Rollins beat Joe. Triple H. Joe's pretty much that was his partner in crime. Pretty much that was the guy he looked up to, the guy who gave him an opportunity, Triple H. So he didn't get revenge. So I feel like Samoa Joe is going to do whatever it takes to get his revenge on Seth Rollins, even try to injure him. So this could think about it. If Rollins beats Joe here, Rollins had nothing else more to prove against Joe. He would have officially gotten his payback against Joe for almost injuring him, almost costing him his second WrestleMania. So I feel like Joe needs to win this if they want this feud to continue to Extreme Rules. I feel like this feud will continue to Extreme Rules, so it makes sense for Joe to beat Rollins. Because if Rollins beats Joe, there's really no reason why Rollins want to face Joe again unless Joe does something horrible, like try to kill his family or something just to get a rematch against Extreme Rules or something. I don't know. But I feel like Joe, so you picked Rollins. I feel like, this is probably going to be match of the night. God, I keep saying match of the night with people because there's a lot of match of the night. This Payback looks to be a solid card in terms of wrestling. Yeah, I do feel like Joe's going to win. If they want to carry this feud to Extreme Rules. If they don't, now I guess I can let Rollins win, but I'm still picking Joe either way. Now we move on to the most interesting match of the whole card. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt House of Horrors match. Again, this is not for the WWE title. They established that on both Raw and SmackDown in their own unique ways. They established that. So from what we know from the House of Horrors match, the match will start out in the House of Horrors. It's not even a house because they still end up being in the ring. So I don't know. I don't even know how they're going to approach this. I don't know if it's going to be like the Final Unleashed where it's going to be pre-recorded and then eventually the live stuff will happen in the ring. I don't know if it's going to be like a boiler room brawl. It's so hard to figure out what the hell this match is. Let me see Ron's prediction. Ron pick. Oh, he says it's going to end in no contest. I wish Ron you was on this show so I hear your reason why. That's very interesting. He says it's going to end in no contest. I would love to hear your reason why he said no contest. Hopefully, if he shows up next week, we can discuss that. But I feel like Bray Wyatt's going to win because now he has no reason why he shouldn't win. There's not for the title. So now Randy Orton, the story here could be he wasn't really focused because whatever excuse they're going to try to get Randy Orton, I don't care because Bray Wyatt, he needs this win. Bray Wyatt needs this win. It's like, come on, Bray. You never win a feud. And you hardly ever win a match, goddamn, when it matters. You have to win this feud to establish yourself as a top heel on Raw. You have to. Randy Orton's champion. He's going to be champion regardless of this match. That's my point. So it's like you have to win this match, Randy. Not Randy. Screw Randy. You have to win this match, Wyatt. You have to. This is your match that you created. How is it going to look? Yeah, I know, granted, when superstars make the matches, usually that superstar usually loses the match that they created. But Bray Wyatt, you have to win. This is your world. You should be able to beat Randy Orton. I mean, Ron said no contest, which, to be fair, I would like that option better. If Randy Orton wins, I'd rather prefer it to be no contest if Randy Orton decides to let Randy Orton win. But I really do hope that Bray Wyatt the match. And then we move on to the main event, which probably is going to be the main event. We're not really confirmed what it's going to be. Originally, I thought it was going to be originally thought it was going to be Rollins. Not Rollins. Jericho versus the Owen for the United States title. And then it was talks of Orton versus Wyatt in a House of Horrors match. But now this pretty much seems like it's confirmed main event: Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Braun got Reigns over Strowman. I disagree. I think Braun Strowman is going to actually beat Roman Reigns because the rumor is at Great Balls of Fire. The name is so ridiculous. Brock Lesnar will be facing Braun Strowman for the Universal title. What I feel like is going to happen here is Braun Strowman is going to beat Roman Reigns, and he's going to show, okay, this is payback against, again, Roman Reigns beating Braun Strowman at Fastlane. Braun Strowman needs to win. He needs to show his dominance. Because let's think about this for a second. How is it going to look for someone like Brock Lesnar who hardly ever loses, going to face the opponent who 2 pay-per-views before that, he lost against somebody? Braun Strowman needs to be dominant, building up to facing Brock Lesnar. So if it is really true that Braun Strowman is going to be facing Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire, he needs to beat him at Payback. And I know it's probably going to happen at Extreme Rules. It's going to be a number one contender between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. The winner faces Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And Braun Strowman needs to win that one as well. Obviously, that one, the most important, if it's for a number one contenders match. But to show his dominance, to show that, hey, I'm not taking your shit anymore, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, you have to win this match. He's been dominant this whole match. What would be the point? I know Roman Reigns is pretty much God. WWE is like their hell, but this is the point where it's like no matter what you guys think, Roman Reigns is gonna win regardless. It's like I'm not even biased the fact that he beat Undertaker. That's another issue in itself. It's the fact in his final match, like I may add, it's the fact that I feel like what's gonna happen is that this is gonna transition into a new feud Roman Reigns that's either gonna be against the Miz or maybe a heel Finn Balor. Or maybe Bray Wyatt again. He has a bunch of options again. Or Samoa Joe. Who knows? Who knows? I think Roman Reigns is going to transition into. I feel like it might be Finn Balor because then I could have been the rumored match for SummerSlam is Balor Club versus the Shield, which is the reason why they have Dean Ambrose on there. So I feel like it's going to eventually transition to Roman Reigns versus a heel Finn Balor. But that's just me. That's just me. So yeah, I feel like Braun Strowman is going to win this match and win their match if they have it again at Extreme Rules. It's going to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. So, yeah, those are my predictions. I feel like so you picked Roman Reigns. I picked Braun. You pick Roman Reigns, Braun, probably because I don't know, Ray, because he uses Roman fucking Reigns. And I feel like Braun Strowman is going to win because I feel like Braun Strowman needs it more. They're going to build him up. If the rumor is true, they're going to build him up to Great Balls of Fire. I can't believe every time I say name, it just sounds ridiculous. Great Balls of Fire. He's gonna have to beat Roman Reigns 2 times in a row to show that yes, he is the freaking guy that could probably go against Brock Lesnar and beat him for Universal title. So because again, my prediction is Braun Strowman. And that pretty much does it for my predictions of the show, guys. That pretty much does it from this week's show and then This Week in Wrestling. For all you guys who showed up today's stream, greatly appreciate it. I see I got 2 likes on there, so some people did like to stream, by myself. I really do appreciate it, guys. I do apologize for like the mid-break because I guys had to get a couple orders so hot in here. And yeah, that gives my predictions. Hopefully you guys tune in Payback just like I am. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously there's no reason why you shouldn't. It's gonna be a very interesting show to say the least. Yeah, I mean, now just looking at it, seems like it definitely will be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in the main event because that's the main photo. Originally, the photo was Chris Jericho, just he was the poster, but the main photo Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. So obviously, this is going to be the main event for Payback. So yeah, the appearance confirmed this. So there's that, and yeah. Hey guys for watching, like today's stream, make sure you hit that like button. We'll say comment will be points since it's not a stream anymore. Just subscribe and shoot miss none of my other streams. And yeah, we'll tune in next time for another This Week in Wrestling. Next Saturday is always every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless it's unless otherwise no, it's always be here every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me just say that. Otherwise, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy Payback. This is Otherwise Creator signing off. Catch you guys later. See ya.